COVID-19, 5 Ways to Fight Racism and Xenophobia. The Pulitzer Prize-winning food critic Jonathan Gold once said that he wrote to try to get people less afraid of their neighbors. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, hate crimes against Asian Americans in major U.S. cities have surged dramatically, making Gold's message more important than ever. Stop AAPI Hate, a Los Angeles-based coalition, received nearly 3,800 first-hand reports of anti-Asian hate in the U.S., including verbal harassment and physical assaults in the past year. Of those who shared their experiences, nearly 70% were women. In the early days of the pandemic, Jonathan Mock, a college student from Singapore, reported being punched and kicked on the street in London. His attackers, he told the BBC, shouted, "We don't want your coronavirus in our country." Mock posted photos of his injured face on social media, writing, "Racism is not stupidity. Racism is hate." And in this current backdrop of the coronavirus, they found yet another excuse. In January, Black Lives Matter, the global racial justice movement, was nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for the way its call for systemic change had spread around the world. Meanwhile, migrants and refugees, some literally running for their lives, continue to be met with suspicion and hostility. Gold saw food as one way to bridge the divide between people from different ethnic backgrounds. Learning about other cultures emphasizes the fact that we are all people and sends the message that racism and xenophobia will not be tolerated in a civil society. It is our job as people, as parents, as citizens of the world, to combat racism and xenophobia. Here are 5 ways. 1. Celebrate other cultures. 2nd, call out bigotry and hate speech. 3. Teach children kindness and how to talk about differences. 4. Stand up for people being harassed. Intervene if it's safe to do so. 5. Support human rights organizations like UNICEF. Yes, that's it. How was my reading?
It was good, actually.
That's good.
Thanks.
Thanks. So it's xenophobia, right?
Xenophobia, yeah.
Xenophobia. Okay, I see. So actually, last time we talked about it, you told me that racism and discrimination are 2 different things, and I really, it made sense to me. But xenophobia, is xenophobia included in racism or discrimination categories?
Well, I like to look at things by definition, right? Dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries. That's xenophobia.
From
So you asked
other
me, is
countries.
xenophobia similar to what?
Similar to discrimination.
Yeah. But discrimination, the person doesn't have to be from another country. Right? They can, people discriminate against their fellow citizens.
I see. Yeah, so actually, when I was in the States, I encountered a bit of xenophobia, xenophobic people. Can I just say that? Yeah. So that every tiny bit of discrimination or the way to think about people differently, somewhat categorize different people coming from different backgrounds. So somehow that kind of mindset is deeply rooted in every one of us. I mean, even in my head, there's a little bit of that, I think. But I think the really what makes a big difference is that if you say that out loud, or if you keep it to yourself, that makes a big difference. And once something goes wrong, then people would have to fight to defend their rights. But if one people have a second thought, or maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, or maybe I should stop what I'm thinking, or anything like that.
If people would think twice,
right, before you say something. Right. Yes, so actually that article I just read is the proof of that this discrimination or racism is widespread, and we should do something about it. What's sad is that I found some comments on the internet on this article about Black Lives Matter. I'm sure they're Japanese, because they use Japanese characters and stuff like that. Some people said, well, it's just Black Lives Matter, and it's not, Asian Lives Matter or anything like that. Just like you said, all lives matter, right? So that kind of, people pick on the definition and not getting the message. So that really made me sad to read those comments.
Yeah, of course. But those people who say that, it's not people who actually care. You know what I mean? They're just talking to talk. They want to water down the meaning of the movement. They want to water down the movement, because it's Black Lives Matter, because why is it Black Lives Matter and why is it not All Lives Matter or Asian Lives Matter? It's because Black people, there's a pandemic of police violence towards Black people. If there was a pandemic of police violence towards Asian people, then there would already be an Asian movement. You understand?
Yes.
This is specifically about Black people and police brutality. This isn't about Black people and being, discriminated against in stores. This isn't about Black people, being discriminated against by, other parts of the government. This is one thing that Black people have been protesting for peacefully and non-peacefully for almost since the end of slavery. You understand? So that's why it requires special attention. It's not that Black people don't care about, other people, but there's just, when you look at the numbers, Black people are doing so much worse, than other people. We just want to bring that to everyone's attention.